Osmosis and diffusion are very similar. Um, Osmosis is the result of diffusion across a semi-permeable membrane. If two solutions of a different concentration are separated by a semi-permeable membrane, then the solvent will tend to diffuse across the membrane from the less concentrated area to the more concentrated solution. That's osmosis in a nutshell. We will later be providing a video that shows this of starch and iodine. The starch is inside a baggie, and the iodine, which would be the solvent, moves into the baggie, as you will later see. Semi-permeable membranes provide a very thin layer material, such as the baggie, and they allow smaller molecules such as oxygen, water, carbon dioxide, ammonia, glucose, and other things to pass through it. But they don't allow larger things such as like sand grains or other materials to move across it.
Right now we're going to compare diffusion and osmosis. And diffusion goes from a high concentrated area to a low concentrated area.
Osmosis just moves down the concentration gradient.
Diffusion doesn't need any kind of water for movement, it just kind of does it.
Osmosis does need water to go through.
Diffusion is a spontaneous movement of particles from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. And examples are like tea favoring movement from a high area to a low concentration in hot water.
Osmosis is almost the same thing, but very different in a way. Osmosis is spontaneous net movement of water across the semi-permeable membrane from a region of low solute concentration to a solution of high solute concentration down the concentration gradient.
Diffusion mainly occurs within gas molecules and liquid molecules. The molecules of gases are in constant motion and collide with the membrane. If the membrane is removed from the gases will mix because of random velocities.
Osmosis occurs when the medium surrounding the cell has a higher water concentration than the cell. The cell gains water, and at the same time many important molecules and particles for growth also move across one cell to another.
The importance of diffusion is to create energy and other important nutrients.
In animal cells, osmosis influences the distribution of nutrients and the release of metabolic waste. In plants, osmosis partially is responsible for absorption of water and for the elevation of liquid into the leaves of the plant. Osmosis does not require any cellular energy, and we will now be showing our video.
Okay, this is the starch and iodine diffusion lab. In this lab, you are probably going to want to make some observations about starch. This is our starch solution. Okay, starch is a molecule that plants make. It's white in color. It is dissolved in water right now, so it's in liquid form. This is our iodine. We've already used iodine this year as a stain for some of our microscope labs. And its color varies depending on how concentrated it is, from a brown to an orange all the way up to a yellow if it's very dilute. And what we're going to be looking for in this lab, we're going to be putting our starch into a Ziploc bag and placing it into a beaker of iodine, and we want to know, can the different solutions go through the bag? And the way we're going to tell if they are able to go through the bag and mix is when you put them together, and you get a very, very, very marked color change. It goes from being yellow and white to a purple color. So this is how we're going to be able to tell if the iodine has gone into the bag or if the starch has come out of the bag. We're going to look for this color change. Okay, so when we start, we have a beaker with iodine in it. We also are going to be pouring some of our starch solution into a Ziploc bag. We're making sure that there is no starch solution on the outside of the bag. It's nice and clean. And we just fold up our bag and we're going to set it into our beaker and we're going to leave it for overnight. And then we'll come back and take a look at this again tomorrow. Okay, we have one that has been sitting overnight. And when we take this out, we notice that the iodine is maybe a little lighter in color than it was yesterday, but it still is that kind of orangey yellow. But that inside the bag, instead of that white color, we now have all of this purple solution.